Today I'm showing you my Evoker build for solo open world. It's a tanky build that does great damage, so it will melt enemies quickly, and it will also work very well when you need to solo hard events and champions. And it can do all of that while being really simple and fun to play. The core concept is very simple. You are locked into Fire Attunement permanently, and you spam all of your weapon skills and use your familiar skills whenever they are ready. This will apply tons of burning and everything will just die around you. And we will also be using 4 signets as it will give some very good passives, while also providing extra damage and sustain when used. So now let's talk about the build in details. For the gear, everything is celestial. Armor, weapons, trinkets, all of it. This will give you a bit of everything, and we will make very good use of it with this build. For runes, we are running Berserker, which gives a huge boost to condition damage. Weapons are Scepter Dagger, and the sigils are Smoldering to increase burning duration by 20%, and Bursting for 5% more condition damage. For the relic, we will use Mist Stranger, which siphons health every time you hit an enemy, so it will help a lot with sustain and it will also do some damage. For the food, we will use Fishy Rice Bowl for extra burn duration, and Magnanimous Tuning Crystal for utility to give us more condition damage. If you want to also put infusions, then use Expertise on your armor and weapons to push the burning duration to 100%, and then put Malin infusions on all of your trinkets. This will enable the build to do very good damage and keep you alive easily. Check the description for more details, including guides on how to gear up easily. Now for the traits, we are running Fire, Earth, and Evoker. Fire is where we get some nice damage bonuses. Burning Precision gives you a chance to apply burning on critical hits, and it increases your burning duration by 20%. And because we have a decent crit chance, you will apply a lot of burning from this trait. Burning Rage will make Sunspot deal more damage and apply burning when it activates, and it will also give you a flat out 180 condition damage. And Sunspot is a minor trait that triggers when you swap to fire. The Grandmaster will make you apply might with every skill while you are in Fire Attunement, and this includes your auto attack. This means you will generate a lot of might, which means more damage. Also from Empowering Flame and from Pyromancer training, we will do more damage and we will have our fire skills reduced cooldown. Earth is our defensive line, but it also adds damage. Elemental Shielding makes any aura you grant gives protection, which is very important and you will see why in a second. Strength of Stone converts 10% of your toughness to condition damage, and because of our gear, this will give you a solid boost. It will also make you apply bleeding when you immobilize enemies. Written in Stone is very important for this build. Normally, when you activate a signet, you lose the passive bonuses until it recharges. But these traits let you keep the passives even when the signet is on cooldown. Plus, every time you use a signet, we will get an aura. And with Elemental Shielding, the auras will also grant protection. And from Geomancer training, we will also have a permanent 10% damage reduction, because you will basically be fighting enemies in melee range all the time. As for Evoker, here are our traits. We will go with the bottom trait here, which will give you heals every time you use your familiar. So this will be a source of reliable and easy sustain. And then we are using Familiar Blessing, which will give you quickness to you and allies every time you use your Fox familiar. And because of that, with this build, you will have Perma quickness all the time. And of course that means more damage, but also more might from your auto attack because of the Grandmaster trait in Fire. Specialized Elements is the most important trait for this build. This locks you into one attunement, and because we are choosing the Fox familiar, this will lock you into Fire. But in exchange, your familiar skills will charge much faster, and using it will recharge your weapon skills. On top of that, the empowered familiar skills will trigger all the traits that requires attunement to fire. Enhanced potency will make our might give us more condition damage, and familiar prowess will increase our condition damage by 5%. And you will have might all the time, and you will also have this buff all the time, so you can consider them permanent. Now let's talk about the utility skills, and we are running all signets except for the elite. Healing skill is Signet of Restoration, which will give passive heals every time you cast a spell, and all of your weapon skills count as casting spells. And also when you activate it, this will give you a decent burst of heal when needed. For the 3 utility skills, we are using signets on all of them. Signet of Air will give you a permanent 25% movement speed, which is great for open world. And when you activate it, this will blind enemies and it will be a stun break. Signet of Fire will give you 180 precision, which will increase your crit chance. But also when you activate it, it will apply burning on an area and it has a very short cooldown. Signet of Earth gives you 10% damage reduction passively, which helps a lot with sustain. And when you activate it, this will immobilize immobilize your target and apply bleeding, and the immobilize will apply even more bleeding because of the strength of the stone trait. Because of the trait written in stones, all of the signets I have mentioned will also give you an aura when you activate them, and those auras will grant protection thanks to elemental shielding. So every time you are using a signet, you are getting some very good bonuses. As for the elite skill, it will summon all 4 familiars at once, and all of them will use their empowered skills. This will give you a massive burst of damage and a lot of sustain. If you struggled with conditions, replace Signet of Air with Cleansing Fire. This skill will remove 5 conditions and it's also a stun break. And on top of that, it applies some burning and give you might, and it only has a 20 seconds cooldown. And if you felt like your sustain is fine and you wanted more damage, you can replace Signet of Earth and use Fox Fury instead. This will apply a lot more burning and give you a lot more might and fury, which will also help with the damage. So how do you actually play this build in open world? First, always make sure you are spamming your weapon skills, because all of them combined will give you tons of burning and do a lot of damage. And Scepter 3 will even remove some conditions. And because of specialized elements, this will also charge your Fire Fox constantly, so also use that anytime it's ready. And every 3 times, this will unlock the empowered skill, which will give you some very big damage and it will spread burning to everyone. Use your Fire and Earth signets anytime they are ready, which will do some damage, and apply auras, which will also give protection. In easy fights, you can also spam Air Signet with them. Otherwise, save it when you need a stun break. And save your healing signet when you start seeing your health going a little low, which will actually not happen that often at all. As for the elite, save it when you need a big burst of damage or you need a big burst of heal. And don't forget you can make any open world build much better by using the protocol buffs. This will give you defensive overcharge, which will increase your toughness and vitality, and from the offensive you will get power and condition damage. They will also give you a lot of boons at the beginning of the fights. And also make sure you have the reinforced armor buff, which will increase your health and defense, and you can get it from any of the vendors that have the anvil icon, which you will find in many maps including cities and passes. And if you have enough gold, you can buy the higher tiers Jadebot cores, which will increase your vitality, which of course will help with sustain. And now you have the complete build. A Fire Evoker that's locked into the Fire Attunement, spamming burning all around it and killing everything in seconds. The build is great for open world because it's tanky, with high damage and permanent quickness, and is straightforward to play. Check the description for a link to the build and for more open world builds and other related guides. Give it a try and let me know how did it go with you in the comments. Thank you very much and I will see you in the next guide.